Apollo 11 at the residence of the British Prime Minister, Harold Wilson. British and American television crews were there to record his statement after the landing, and incidentally, on the second floor of that residence, there hang two color photographs of Earth, taken through the window of Apollo 8 and signed by the commander of that spacecraft, Frank Borman. The Prime Minister said that he had watched the account of the last half hour before Apollo's touchdown, and when it was determined that astronauts Armstrong and Aldrin were safe and all systems go, he came out of his study to make this statement.
I think the first feeling of everyone in Britain who has seen and heard the news of this incredible achievement will be one of heartfelt relief that this very dangerous part of the mission has been safely accomplished. We all know there's still more to be seen through. And I think the second feeling will be one of tremendous admiration. Admiration first for the way in which this great and historic achievement was conceived and planned. I suppose it's an achievement which incorporates all the work, all the discoveries of the mathematicians and the scientists and the space experts, almost from the earliest days of mathematics and science, and incorporates the technologies and the experience of many nations. But pride of place obviously goes to those in the United States who have developed the missiles, who have developed the technology, who have developed the modules, who have developed the computerization, under the overall conception and planning of the United States Space Agency. But equally there's admiration for the courage and fortitude, not only of these three gallant astronauts, but all those others who have gone before and who have made this possible. Admiration, too, for the bravery and the fortitude of their families who have been unable to do more than stand by and watch, and who must be feeling a tremendous sense of pride at this moment. And now, I think our greatest feeling of all is our prayers for the safe return of these three very great men.
Afterwards, the Prime Minister told us that he wants to send a message of congratulations to President Nixon, but that he will wait until the Eagle and Columbia are joined together again. Incidentally, Walter, I asked the Prime Minister if he had any idea what Russia's Luna 15 was up to. He joked, mind you, that 5 minutes before Apollo's touchdown, he had fully expected Luna to land half a dozen Russians on the moon, Leonid Brezhnev among them. And one of his advisors said yes, and only 5 of them will return to Earth. As for the reaction among the British and tourists on the streets of London, here's a report from CBS newsman Bob Simon at Trafalgar Square, where he joined the thousands who watched an immense television screen as the Apollo touched down on the moon.
Altitude, velocity, light. Down, go down. Bring it up, go down. Bring feet, go down. Bring down. Bring half down. 20 feet.
Continue with a report now from Daniel Schorr, who is in Dutch television space headquarters in Hilversum, outside of Amsterdam.
Walter, it was all a little bit different here in Holland. There were no mass demonstrations in any squares. We don't have the Dutch Prime Minister available to speak to you. One of the reasons is that the Dutch are a more careful people, and even Prince Bernhard, whom we hope to have here today, said he would like to see the whole thing a success before he issues a statement. I think it's in the cautious Dutch character to wait until everything is completely successful before you get any official statement. It was also a little bit different when it came to the public in Holland. You didn't see Dutch in any squares, and they found that the heard but unseen announcement of the Eagle landing on the moon was a little bit hard to grasp. This was the scene that I witnessed in the Café de Haag. Somehow they had expected more than just an announcement, and there's momentary confusion before the thing sinks in. And there's applause here, which is cued by the applause they see on the screen from Houston.
That was a good show.
For the Dutch, the grand climax will still be when they see an American man on the moon an event that is now going to be sooner than people thought it was. But meanwhile, there's been a public opinion survey released tonight, and that says that 43% of the Dutch people, while admiring this great feat, don't see that it serves any particular purpose. Now back to you, Mike and Walter.
Earlier, Peter Kalischer in Paris told us that the French press was covering the Apollo story fully, but that Frenchmen generally were not as worked up about it as their fellow Europeans. We go to Paris now for an update from Peter Kalischer.
A short while ago, the astronauts landed on the moon. This was the reaction at the Pub Renault, an automobile room and meeting place on the Champs-Élysées, stuffed with television sets and people.
I think this is a very important day. It's an historical day and the whole universe is concerned about the landing on the moon.
And as a Frenchwoman, how do you think about it?
Oh, I think it's wonderful. I always trusted America, and I knew they could fail.
It's the opening of so much, and I think that my grandchildren might, have something to do with this and, really start going places. And I feel like I'm at the grand opening of something.
And you, sir?
I think this is a great day for America and a great turnout. And I just hope it won't help you from solving all internal problems you may have, too. Never forgetting it. But it's a great honor for you.
I'm very happy for all the American industry because really it shows that they have been able to solve all the technical problems, which were certainly very huge before starting this operation. That's all that I say.
I think it's just wonderful to be on Earth and to live what's going on the moon, and I pray God for these people, and I thank the Americans also for what they've done for the world. And that's what I have to say. I'm very proud of the Americans.
I take my hat off. I take my hat off. I take my hat off.
And you?
It's marvelous. Sorry, I don't speak English well.
That was the moon landing as seen through French eyes. Peter Kalischer, CBS News, Paris.
And Winston Burdett is standing by at CBS News Space headquarters in Rome. For reaction there, we switch now to that Italian capital.
Pope Paul watched television tonight at the Vatican Observatory, and at the moment of landing, he raised his hand in blessing and said, "Honor, greetings, and blessings to you, conquerors of the moon." The headline in Rome's leading newspaper is a single word that fills half the front page: Scesi, landed. No other event that I can recall has so fired the Italian imagination. There is unbounded wonder at the achievement, at the capacities, the prowess, the perfection of American technology. And in the press, there is an outpouring of superlatives: prodigious, stupendous, more than human. If there is one constant theme in Italian comments, it is this: that the United States, by an unparalleled coordination of a vast number of technologies, has overtaken and surpassed the Russians in their own field of collective organization. It has been an emotional experience for Italy. For the moment, at least, all doubts and questions are swept away in the general euphoria. If man can reach the moon, one paper says, then there are no material problems that cannot be solved in human society on Earth. Winston Burdett, CBS News, Rome.
Belgrade, Yugoslavia, as other Eastern European capitals, is getting its first full taste of television coverage of an American space venture. CBS News correspondent Bill McLaughlin files this report from Belgrade.
This is Dave McLaughlin in Belgrade, where the flight of Apollo 11 is being followed with every bit as much interest as in the United States. Yugoslavia, in fact, has adopted 3 American astronauts as its own heroes. Here, as in most of the world, Apollo 11 is being considered as man's greatest adventure. This is Republic Square in the heart of Belgrade. All day, people have been waiting for news from the moon. Those who aren't watching television at home watch it here on monitors especially installed by Yugoslav TV. Now that man has landed on the moon. How do you feel about it? What does it mean to you?
I think that the dream of the man from the beginning of the human race is coming now. And our nation, the world is very excited for this historical moment. And for me, I am very proud to be a member of generation of this historical moment.
Unfortunately, our picture is breaking up coming in from Belgrade. Up at Jodrell Bank, where stand the formidable facilities that track these space flights in their orbits around the Earth and around the Moon, is CBS News correspondent Morley Safer with Sir Bernard Lovell.
Sir Bernard, just about everybody up here sat with fascination when we heard that cool talk down, but it must have been a very special moment for you, sir.
It was certainly tremendous. As an ordinary individual, I share the emotions of most other people who listen to these moments of drama.